Hello everyone and welcome to another video. So in today's video we will see how you can freeze your columns and rows, wherever you require to freeze your headings. So before we get started, I just wanted to tell you exactly why we use this particular, function. So if you see, I have a table here, a data set on, property types and the prices. So in this case, you can see, it's a very large data, with lots and lots of rows, probably up to 1,000 rows, right? So it's a very large data. So whenever you are analyzing a large data in Excel, what happens is, there will be a requirement for you to scroll down and, check the data or do some analysis, correct? Yeah. So if you notice, I'm able to see everything till row 17 here. The moment I scroll down and I want to see row number 18, the data comes up, but now you see my heading is gone, correct? The first row, my header, which tells me exactly what does a villa mean, or what is McAllister? Is it the first name or the last name? Now, it may be easy for a few people to remember what exactly the header was, but that's not always the case. So in such cases, what you would require is exactly your header rows, or the rows that define your data to be fully available when you actually scroll through your data, right? And similarly, there may be cases where you have, let's say, some columns against which you would want to validate your data that is on the right side of it. Yeah. So that's the reason we use freeze panes, using which you can, freeze rows and columns and multiple columns and rows together. All right. So let's see how that is done. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to freeze the header row. So in that case, all you have to do is, doesn't matter where you click, just go to your view tab, click on the view tab, and then there is an option called freeze panes. Click on it, and there is this option called freeze top row. So whichever is the top row in your Excel or CSV, you just click on it and it gets frozen. So let's see, I'm going to click on it. Now, if I scroll down, there you go. So you have your top row, which was your first row that we froze, readily available there, and it's frozen there. So it will not move while your rest of the data can be scrolled through. All right. So this is the first technique where you can freeze your first row. Now, let me go and unfreeze this. So whenever you need to unfreeze anything, you just come here again and click on unfreeze panes. All right. Now it's back to normal. Now, the other case is if you want to freeze the first column. So there is another option called freeze first column. So in this case, the first column is the ID column, So if we freeze the first column, let's see. Now, if I scroll to the right, I'm going to scroll to the right, and you see your ID column is intact. Doesn't matter, however you scroll, your ID column will be intact. All right. Yeah. So these were the two basic options. Let me unfreeze panes. Now, you would also be wondering, how can you, let's say, freeze? Let's say you want to freeze these two panes. Or let me just try the first pane. Okay. So row 1 and column A. What if you wanted to freeze both of them together? That is, when you scroll down, the header should be frozen. And when you scroll to the right, the ID should be frozen as well. So how do you do that? For that, all you have to do is you can use your cursor and let's place it in cell number B2. So what happens is, when you place it in B2, you come to freeze panes and click on freeze panes. And when you do that, what happens is, every column to the left of the one that you have frozen and every row above the one that you have frozen, the cell that you have frozen, will not move. Rest of the data will move continuously. So in this case, row number 1 will not move and column A will not move because you placed your cursor in Vivian, right? You place your cursor in Vivian and then froze the panes. So let's see, I'm scrolling to the right. Yeah, so you can see that, the ID column is intact. And if I scroll to the bottom, you can see the first row is there. It's frozen. All right, this is one method. Another method, if you want to, let's say in this case, I want to freeze the top 2 rows. All right. And I also want to freeze the first 3 columns. So how do I do that? So in such a case, what you can do is you can make use of the split option. The split option under View tab, right next to Freeze Panes. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, it doesn't matter where my cursor is, let's say my cursor is in Villa, okay, here in cell E6. Doesn't matter where you place it. Go ahead and click on Split. So what it does is, it splits your sheet into different scrollable windows. All right. Now you would notice it has split your sheet into multiple sections, right? And if you notice, there is a small bar which you can scroll. All right. So I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to place it on. Let's say I want to freeze the first 3 rows. I'll place it here. Okay. And the other scroller or the other, the line, let me just bring it to last name. All right. So I have split the sheet into multiple sections now. And then I will click on Freeze Panes and Freeze Panes again. Now if you notice, let's try to scroll down. And when we scroll down, row number 1, 2 and 3, that is these 3 rows should not move. All right. Let's see. Good job. So this is done. And if we scroll to the right, the first 3 columns should not move. So let's see. There you go. So this is how you can make use of the split function to, freeze as many rows and columns as you want. And in case you just want to freeze, let's say 1 column or 1 row, there is another method that I showed you earlier. So I'll just click on Split again. Let's go back to normal and everything is back to normal. So if you like this video, please hit the like button and do subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed the video, and please share it with your friends and family if you consider this video as helpful. We will come up with more videos in the coming week. So till then, take care. Bye.